we wanted to give a little walk around, get you guys introduced to the new 2012 Impreza, because we're going to be leaving it here for you so your customers can drive it, get lots of sold orders, and make lots of money on these new cars. But I have a few guests today with me too. I think you guys all know me. I'm John Wingard. I have Mr. Larry Kelso. He's our parts and service rep. Hi guys. And I believe you also all know Mr. Lynn Lowry. So I don't want to get too much into model and trim codes. I also don't want to get too much into what makes a Subaru, the symmetrical all-wheel drive boxer engine, because you guys all know that stuff, right? You guys are pros. So what I want to do is tell you really what makes the new Impreza, So if you guys want to step around here, obviously there's a lot of changes here underneath the hood. But first I want to tell you, this is very similar to the Forester engine that's in the 2012 Forester, except this is a 2-liter now. I think you guys are familiar with that. The 2.0 makes 148 horsepower on 145 foot-pounds of torque. It does have the dual overhead cam, just like the Forester does. It also has a dual active valve control system, and it's a timing chain. What's good about a timing chain, guys?
Doesn't have to be chained.
What does that mean for the custer?
Less cost.
All right. So, just like the Forester, what kind of oil does this take?
Synthetic.
What is it?
0W20.
Very good. 0W20. What's the maintenance interval on a 0W20 weight oil?
7,500.
What does that mean for your customer?
Economical to operate.
Lower cost of ownership. I love it. You guys, this is good. Interactive. You guys don't know the answers. 148 horsepower. How did we get there? Obviously, we decreased the displacement. We also have direct mounted fuel injectors. We changed how the fuel injectors are mounted. Now, don't get this confused with direct injection. That is still different. But also, you can see here, there's no more power steering pump. Power steering, we still have it, but it's really power steering. It's electric power steering, which you guys know from the Mazdas. But that reduces the drag on the engine, frees up that horsepower, and also, probably the biggest thing, 5-speed manual is standard, but the CVT, continuously variable transmission in this car, it's refined, it's different than the Legacy and Outback, it uses different internals. But what's the maintenance interval on a CVT transmission for Subaru?
105.
Well, 100,000 miles.
Change of fluid.
It is still a chain, but with revised pulleys, so they actually react quicker, and they're lighter weight. They're actually quieter too.
Does it whine on the highway like the Legacy?
I don't think it whines nearly as much. I've been driving this car, and actually I think it whines more in reverse now than the Legacy and Outback, but you don't drive in reverse that much, so it's okay. So also, what else can I tell you about underneath the hood? You can see here, there's insulation, lots of insulation. Another way we actually try to make the car quieter to reduce the noise from the CVT.
What's that?
That's probably the transmission computer, not the ECM for the engine, but I think it's actually for the transmission specifically. Yeah, and actually that might be the whole ECM, because we used to mount them in the passenger footwell, and if we mount them here, well, and there's more room for the passenger footwell. So, also, first for 2012 Impreza, this is a PZEV vehicle now. The automatics will certainly be a PZEV, so you got that feel-good feeling for your customers, and always a nice thing. So, what's the, everybody know what the gas mileage is on a CVT-equipped Impreza?
36.
36 on the highway. Most fuel-efficient all-wheel drive car in America. That's pretty cool. The 5-speed is 34 on the highway.
What's around town?
The automatic is 27, and the manual is 25 around town. So, also, the other way we made this car more efficient, it's lighter. Almost 170 pounds lighter than the previous model. So what that means is, yeah, you're down 22 horsepower with the previous generation, a lighter car, CVT, which is a better use of the power. This car is just as fast, if not just a hair faster than the previous generation. So your customers should not be concerned with the acceleration and performance. So, okay, I want to talk about some other things we did, some of the styling cues that we did on this car. You know, we have the Hawkeye headlights that are very similar to some of the older generation Imprezas, but also you can see we have the very similar to Legacy and Outback, the wheel arches. I want to talk about wheels and tires for a second. These are the optional standard on a limited but 17-inch wheels. These tires are a little different than we've used to have. I did a little research on these particular tires. These are a 340 tread wear, and previous generation Imprezas only had a 220 tread wear. So these are a little bit harder tire, but they will last longer. That also is one of the ways we get better fuel economy on the highway. So later on down the road, if customers start changing tires, you might see something, they might get not as good a gas mileage if they're not using a similar tread wear. Now in Prius, other hybrids, they use over 500 tread wear. And if you read a lot of reviews about those tires, our OE tires on a Prius, it's like driving on granite. They last forever and they perform like crap. So snow and ice, we couldn't have it on our car. So 340 tread wear, better fuel economy, still got that good performance, kind of a good compromise there. Also, similar to Forester, we have a brake return spring on the front calipers. And what that does is it actually pulls the pad back away from the rotor so it's not dragging. And keep in mind, we're talking about fractions of an inch just so it's not dragging. And another way we got a little better fuel economy, and we saw that jump in Forester a couple of years ago, a couple of models ago, by 1 mile per gallon. Just another thing that helped us get that increased fuel economy. So you can see we had to add this wing window. That's because, and I call it a wing window, it doesn't open like they used to, but we moved the windshield almost 8 inches forward, the bottom of the windshield. So that gave us a bigger slope on the windshield, which gives us better aerodynamics. And also with the design of the mirrors, this car's, and Larry, are you here?
I'm here.
Wanted to make sure you were close.
Yep. I was moving around so I wasn't going to be walking in front of you.
No problem.
Talking about aerodynamics, your current issue of drive goes into that with this car. Okay?
Right.
Now, this car has a 0.31 to 0.33, and this is outlined in the little panel up here in the right or left page. Who remembers the lowest coefficient of drag vehicle in mass production ever done?
Dodge Intrepid.
Pardon me?
Dodge Intrepid.
No.
That came out of nowhere.
Lamborghini Coupe.
Yeah,
No, mass-produced car.
Come on, count forward. Dodge Intrepid.
Honda Insight.
How about the Subaru XT with a 0.29 coefficient of drag?
How about that?
Going back to the 80s.
AKA the wedge.
So anyway, use the materials, and I'm sure you do, but the Drive magazine is something your customers are going to be receiving anyway in the long run. They buy a car, they get a subscription to this. We send you guys some copies of this into the showroom. They're for your use as a tool as well. So you got aerodynamics in this one.
So, a lot of concentration on these little things to give us the fuel economy that not only that we want, but our customers demand. So, another nice thing about this extra window here, when you sit in the car, and you guys will drive these cars today, it gives you a bigger sense. The car feels bigger inside, a better greenhouse too. The Forester's always had a nice, very good visibility all the way around you. But I want to talk about safety, because does Subaru ever compromise on safety?
Oh.
No, absolutely not. And we've got a few enhancements that I'm sure will translate to some of our other Subaru.
What kind of rating jump is this going to get? 4,
Well,
5
we
stars?
expect it to be top rating in all categories, but we
5.
don't know officially
Where are
yet.
you? Let's go measure it.
So I want to talk about some of the new safety features. How many airbags does any current Subaru have right now?
6.
Okay, and how many does this have?
7.
7.
Knee bolster.
So we added a driver's knee airbag, and what that does is help protect the occupant, the driver only, in case of a severe collision. So I think that'll translate to some of our other vehicles here in the near future, but we'll see. Also, I want to talk about this B-pillar. Everybody's familiar with the ring-shaped reinforced body structure that Subaru uses. It includes high tensile strength steel, which is very strong and also light. That's one of the ways we lost 167 pounds in this car, is using more high tensile strength steel. This B-pillar has been redesigned and strengthened. It can handle up to 4 times the vehicle's weight. That's approximately 12,000 pounds before this roof starts to crush. That's impressive.
Before it starts crushing?
Well, that's
Because it was not more than 5 inches in the
and that's different for the Forester, because they actually did a roof crush test.
Right.
And that's what they do with the small SUVs. But this, they don't do a roof crush test on a subcompact vehicle, or a compact vehicle.
Sure.
So it's rated at 4 times the vehicle's weight, is what I was told. So, and that's
able to support 4 times the vehicle.
so strong, lightweight, better safety for the customer. So
it's only rated at 1.8.
really,
That's
wow, I did not know that. That's impressive. Thank you. That's good to know. So other safety features. I want to talk about some of the interior, the body panels on the inside. They actually, Subaru put a lot of concentration into designing just a door panel. The switches and the armrest are actually further inboard to stay away from the occupant in case when they're getting tossed around in case of an accident. But one of the obvious ways you can really see what they did, look at the B pillar here. You see how they cut out this piece of plastic here and molded it so that it's not even rounded but no sharp edges whatsoever. It's actually really nice for the customer. That's right where your elbow is, and it protects the customer, protects the occupant in case of an accident. Also, one of my favorite things, and I think you guys will agree, have you seen the headrest yet?
Yeah.
The ratcheting anti-whiplash headrest. So Subaru, we're familiar with anti-whiplash headrests, but we're also familiar with customers complaining about them. So now that it ratchets, it has 4 settings. So your customers with ponytails, if they, if they want to move it back, they can. But other people that like it comfortable, like it more forward, and it still goes up and down. It still adjusts up and down. But one of my favorite features. Hoping we'll see that in some of the other Subarus here in the near future as well. Look at the seat, by the way. This seat is over 2 inches taller than the previous generation and then some of the other Subarus. So it's a bigger seat. It's a taller seat. It's more comfortable. It's actually more visually pleasing, I think, as well. So it just looks nice. But another new safety feature for Subaru is brake override system. So do you guys understand how that works or what that is? Brake override system. If you're driving with both both feet on one on the gas, one on the brake, the computer will sense that and it'll shut down the gas and allow the brake to override the gas. So good for, well, I think it comes from Toyota personally. And actually we did try it out. Some of the salespeople went over and tried it out. It works very seamlessly, but you can't ride the brakes anymore in these cars either, which is kind of nice. So brakes will last longer.
more heel toe.
Well, yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Heel toe on an automatic. That'd be interesting.
Yeah.
So Subaru's never really had, I wouldn't say we've ever had optional safety features, but if there ever was an optional safety feature in a Subaru, I would say these cars equipped with navigation. We now have the ability to text. You can talk to the vehicle if your phone's synced and has all the proper capabilities. You can talk to text through the nav system. So these Imprezas, and the same nav system is going to be available in the Forester as well for 2012, but it has text-to-speech capability or speech-to-text capability. So pretty neat feature, part of the nav system, and just another nice thing. So want to move to the back here? Oh yes, please.
Supplier of the nav system?
It's a system called NavTech, which is new for Subaru. So I don't know much about them. I just know that
Hardware is Kenwood.
Well, it's made by NavTech, so I think everything's done by them. So anyway, 1 inch longer wheelbase. We seem to do that every time we redesign a car, just 1 more inch. So we moved the back seats back a little bit, and then we sculpted the back of the front seats so to give the rear more room in the back. Still a 60/40 rear folding seat, more passenger room, especially in the back. So a lot of concentration there. I want to move to the back here. Not a whole lot to talk about back here. You guys are pretty familiar. Not a lot of changes in the back of the 4 and the 5 door. Probably the biggest thing I want to talk about is this thing right here. It looks like that is the perfect place to put a trailer hitch, but I hate to tell you that's not for a trailer hitch. So this car is not meant to tow. Not even the factory. We don't want people towing with this car. With the CVTs, we're too sensitive to that, especially in this particular vehicle. But I know people like to put bike racks on the back and stuff, but they'll have to go aftermarket for that. This is technically for a fog light in Europe, because this is more of a world car than we've really ever had before. So
World car.
yeah. So
Like the Ford Contour.
Mondeo in Europe, yes, that's right. Anyway, so with no further ado, I'm going to turn it over to Larry, and he's going to talk about some of the accessories that are available for the new 2012 Impreza.
So they come in, and 6 months after they bought the car, how much warranty do they have? 12 months or 36?
That's your question.
Or is it 28 because they bought it at 6 months into ownership. The remainder of their new car warranty, because that's longer than 12 months. All right? So that's one of the key things that you need to remember in your presentation is, should you, Mr. or Mrs. Customer, want to add something after you've bought the car? Maybe it's at the 7,000 mile oil change interval. Great, come in, add it, and that'll have the same warranty as your new car out to that 36 months, 36,000 miles.
Install.
Pardon me?
If we install. As a super
Yes.
deal, we have
Yeah.
installed. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Everybody knows about the Forester and its steel mesh grill? Yes? We're going to have another one on this. At this point, we now get to play make-believe. There's almost no accessories on this car, but there are a few that I can point out. Anyway, we will have a steel mesh grill. It'll have a body painted surround, much like the Forester has. So that's available.
$318 for install.
I haven't seen all of the pricing at this point. We will have a front hood protector so that the bird poop that Lynn got on his drive-in today, it will be protected from hitting on the paint.
That's a deposit on the car.
There you go. The limited model has the fog lights on it. The premium model does not. They can be added to any of the cars other than what's on standard equipment. On the all of them, we will have available splash guards for behind the wheel. On the Impreza Sport 5-door, we'll have a engine underguard available, as well as a straight kit, which is your front piece and aerodynamic rear mud flaps. So we've got the coverage on the Impreza Sport. Moving to the back, towards the back, we have body side moldings painted for the color of the car. They are a stick-on applique, but they'll help protect against the parking lot dings. Much the same as the Forester, we have available the window visors for the front and rear so that they will cover that window opening should the customer want to have the window open that little bit. There are still people that smoke in the world, and so we can adjust the venting for that. We will have a moonroof air deflector. All three of these items, the hood protector, the moonroof air protector, as well as the side vents, are all in a smoke plastic. Available for both the 5-door and the sedan will be a lip spoiler, rear lip spoiler. Need to open the trunk for a second. Got to show you something on the back. Never mind. Let me do it over here. Since everybody's still out here, I'll do it here. We have two things for the rear bumper to protect the rear bumper. One is a clear acrylic that you can see on this car, and the way you can see is that it has a very small Subaru logo in the upper left corner of it. On a dark color like this, you can actually see it. On the silver car, it blends right in. But this is a clear plastic that's on the bumper right now, and you can feel the lip, okay? A second thing that we have is a bib that will attach with Velcro on the inside onto the carpet of the cover, and when you need it, you can flip it out, and it's the thickness, and it has a soft back, much like the fender protectors for the technicians. So when you need to have that extra protection, you've got it. Then put it back inside. When you close the lid, you're all set. You don't have to worry about it.
They can offer the rubber bumper cover though.
No, we're not going to have the black rubber bumper cover. This is taking its place.
Is that standard?
No, this is an accessory item.
Rear
Yes.
bumper applique.
Okay, let's see. Cargo trays available as well, both sedan and wagon.
The rear.
You'll have a handout when we're all done of several things. On the sedan, you can actually see the exhaust pipe, and we do have a chrome tip for that. The exhaust pipe is totally hidden on the 5-door.
Quick question about the rear spoiler. You said lip spoiler. Is it going to be like the old STI Limiteds? Is it going to be more like the WRX currently?
More like the lip spoiler on a legacy stand.
And what about the hatchback? What's that going to look like for the rear spoiler?
I haven't seen that yet, so I can't answer the question.
Okay.
We will have side sill plate covers, stainless steel, make them look nicer. This car has a auto-dimming mirror compass. You can see the headlight sensor in there. We will have upgraded speaker kits for all the models. They are made by Kicker. It's a tweeter kit. It's improved door speakers as well as a 10-inch subwoofer, powered subwoofer.
Where is that mounted?
It'll be in the left rear, or right rear, I think.
Left rear, I think.
Is it the left?
I believe so, right over here behind the seat.
Okay, behind the seat here in the 5-door and in the trunk. Center armrest tray. Similar, I'm told, because I haven't seen one, to the Forester to improve the amount of storage capacity. The armrest does slide forward for comfort, as it is as a standard piece. Leather shift knobs available for both the CVT as well as the 5-speed. And again, all-weather mats are available, and we want to remind you to ask your customers if they're going to have the all-weather mats in the car, please take out the carpet mats so that you're only having one thickness underneath their feet. We don't want to have any trapped feet and such in the news. Let's see.
The 2012 Impreza, they've made some significant changes. They've made the engine smaller, it has less power. However, they've also made it lighter, so the power to weight ratio is just as good as it ever was. E-brake slide? What's next?
We can just turn around.